May 9th, 2019, a quiet afternoon in Kenosha turned into a nightmare. Within minutes, a young girl's life was taken, and a mother was left fighting to save her. What seemed like a normal day became one of the city's most chilling crimes. This is the tragic story of Kaylie Juga. On a peaceful spring afternoon in Kenosha, Wisconsin, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. May 9th, 2019, was a Thursday like any other. Schools letting out, the sun casting gentle shadows on manicured lawns, and families settling into their routines. 15-year-old Kaylie Juga returned home with her mother, Stephanie, after school. Their bond was close, built on routines, laughter, and shared moments. That afternoon, they danced in the kitchen, played music, and for a while, everything felt safe. But at precisely 3 p.m., that peace shattered. A hooded figure, dressed all in black, silently slipped into their home through an open garage door. Seconds later, 7 gunshots rang out, shaking the quiet neighborhood to its core. Doorbell cameras recorded the sound. Inside, Stephanie and Kay lay bleeding, victims of an act of senseless violence. This is the heartbreaking story of Kaylie Juga, a promising cheerleader, a bright student, a teenager filled with dreams, silenced by obsession and hate. Stephanie Juga operated a photography business from their Kenosha home. That afternoon, she had picked up her daughter from school, something she did most weekdays. They were close. At home, it was just the two of them for a few precious hours before the rest of the family returned, husband Nick and 11-year-old Mason, their youngest. After arriving home around 2:20 p.m., Stephanie and Kay did what they often did, played music, laughed, and danced. Kay then headed to her room to get ready for a shift at her new job. Stephanie, meanwhile, was blow-drying her hair in the master bathroom. Then it happened. The first bang startled her, then another, and screams. At 3:02 p.m., Stephanie placed a frantic call to 911. "What am I?" "Somebody shot my daughter." Stephanie, shot in the wrist and side, had retreated into her bathroom, unaware of the full extent of her daughter's injuries. The attacker had fled. Still fearing for her safety, Stephanie locked herself in the bathroom and dialed her husband and then the authorities. When help arrived minutes later, Stephanie was found trying desperately to perform CPR on her daughter, despite her own critical injuries. Kay was rushed to the lawn for emergency aid, but it was too late. She had been shot 5 times, 4 in the chest, 1 in the head. A team of surgeons couldn't have saved her. As soon as Stephanie was stabilized, detectives arrived at the hospital. She had seen the shooter. She knew him. It was Kay's ex-boyfriend, 15-year-old Martise Fuller. Stephanie remembered facing him in the hallway after the shots began. "Please, you don't have to do this," she pleaded. "Yes, I do," he replied, before pulling the trigger. Investigators began processing the scene. Shell casings were scattered in Kay's room. A bullet lodged in the floorboards. Furniture was torn apart as officers searched every room, unsure if the shooter was still inside. Outside, another bullet was found on the sidewalk, identical to those used in the shooting, likely dropped en route. Kaylie Juga was vibrant. She was a varsity cheerleader, softball player, honor roll student, and deeply loved by her friends and family. Her laughter was infectious, her smile unforgettable. "She could make a room light up," said one friend. "Her laugh, you'd never forget it." After her death, her fellow cheerleaders planned a tribute performance in her memory. At first, the school board blocked the event, citing policy conflicts since both Kay and Martise were under their jurisdiction. The community erupted in outrage. Eventually, the memorial went forward. "I'm glad this was able to happen," one friend said tearfully. "I love her and I'll always miss her." Kay and Martise had met roughly a year before. At first, he was welcomed by the Juga family, an athlete seemingly well-mannered. He had dinner with the family multiple times a week, attended holidays, joined them for football games. They trusted him, but soon cracks appeared. Martise became controlling. Kay was forced to stay on video calls with him for hours, even while doing homework. He called incessantly, texted non-stop. Stephanie confronted him, but he brushed it off. Jealousy soon seeped into the relationship. Online posts hinted at cheating rumors. Social media fights erupted. Martise demanded Kay's phone at school. He even cornered her in the hall and had to be physically restrained by school security. The school altered their schedules and warned Martise to stay away. But he didn't listen. He violated the agreement, was caught again, and expelled. He was livid. By spring, Kay was done. She quit her job after Martise began showing up unannounced. She started a new one, hoping he wouldn't find out. She blocked his number, blocked friends' numbers. Still, he lurked, pacing in front of her house, watching from the trees at night, watching her sleep. In the weeks before the murder, Martise's life unraveled. Homeless, kicked out by his family, and banned from school, he bounced between friends' homes. He was angry. He told a friend, "She ruined my life." He posed with a handgun in a photo, bragging. He asked around for bullets, asked a friend, Desiree, to help him do the hit. She refused, but she didn't report it either. Surveillance footage shows his methodical planning. He arrived near the Juga house on a bike, dressed in casual clothes, hid in the trees, changed into black clothing. Entered the home at 3 p.m. A minute and a half later, the first shot, 7 in total. By 3:04 p.m., he was fleeing the scene. Recorded again on a doorbell camera. Changed back into the grey hoodie. Same white shoes. He had disappeared. Martise's cousin, Annalise Andrews, lived in Rhine, a few hours away. That evening, he turned up at her house, unannounced. She let him in. He confessed. He told her everything, from stalking the house to changing clothes to pulling the trigger. He admitted he only meant to shoot Kay once, but lost control. Annalise, a mother herself, was shaken. She called the police the next morning. She even led detectives to a storm drain where Martise had hidden the murder weapon, wrapped in a diaper. Without her, it likely would have never been found. Martise was charged with first-degree intentional homicide and attempted homicide for shooting Stephanie. At trial, prosecutors outlined a clear timeline: surveillance footage, witness testimony, and the confession. They emphasized 2 timelines: Kay's, of fear, avoidance, and trying to rebuild a life. Martise's, of anger, rejection, and obsession. Martise's mother, Elise, initially claimed he was with her during the shooting. She later erupted in court and was arrested for obstructing justice. Martise never testified. His lawyers argued mistaken identity, that Stephanie assumed it was him due to previous conflict, but her eyewitness testimony was chilling. "Please, you don't have to do this," she recalled saying on the witness stand, her voice trembling as she recounted the moment that would forever divide her life into before and after. He said, "Yes, I do. Then he shot me." Those haunting words echoed through the courtroom, a chilling reminder of how close death had come and how helpless she had been in the face of such determined violence. Her testimony painted a vivid picture of fear and desperation. The look in his eyes, the sound of the gun, the moment everything changed. It wasn't just a memory, it was a wound reopened in front of strangers, a mother's attempt to make the world understand what her daughter never got the chance to say. Further corroboration came from Martise's own cousin, Annalise Andrews, whose courage to come forward became a turning point in the case. The specific details he disclosed all matched exactly with the surveillance footage and phone records. In that courtroom, her voice became one of truth, one that no defense could refute or twist. It took the jury only hours. Martise Fuller was found guilty of both counts. At sentencing, he showed little emotion. His lawyer read a letter on his behalf, claiming innocence, but expressing vague regret. "I loved Kay too," he wrote, "but I have to continue to stand innocent because I am." The judge was unmoved. "You sat emotionless until the verdict was read," he said. "You are a dangerous, damaged human being." Martise was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. He is currently incarcerated at Green Bay Correctional Institute. In the years since, Stephanie and her family have tried to rebuild, but the pain of losing Kay has never dulled. "This is our 5th birthday without her," Stephanie said at a memorial. "How can that be? 5 birthdays without my girl?" Friends still remember Kay's laugh, her light, her future that was stolen far too soon. A tragic story of a young life ended by obsession, a mother's heroism, and a family that refuses to let her memory fade. This was the tragic story you needed to hear. Thank you for watching Last Known Truth. A special thank you to our members who help make this work possible. Stay safe, watch out for those around you, and we'll see you next time.